Hi, it's Louise from welshbunnies.com here with a Project Life video for Thursday 5th February 2015. Here I am, it's week 3 2015 that I'm doing this week, and I've printed out my pictures. I've got 4x6s, so I'll start by putting these where I think they should go. There we go, maybe put that one there. And then I've got my 3x4s. So I'll just grab my trimmer. Should have set this up beforehand. Right, so I'll trim out these pictures. I think I might need a new blade after this project. This cutting machine is a Fiskars. It's very good, but you do need to replace the blade every so often. With all these pictures, go. Now this is another instance like in my last video where I've got two of the same picture. I'll keep this one for this week, and I'll put this one aside into my mini books collection. Here's some pictures that I printed with a bit of a border because I want them to be smaller than 3x4 on the page. So I'll just quickly cut these out. I edit my photos for printing on Picasa. It's just a free photo editing thing, so I can crop it down, and if before I make them into a collage I edit out. Put a mark on that one. If I add a border to the picture before I put it into the collage, then it'll come out smaller, so you can see that's smaller than 3x4. There we go. Now, so I stop here and say this picture, it's a picture of my eldest daughter looking quite sad, and I can't really, I don't really want it to be on the front of the Project Life. So this is a picture from the same set of pictures, and I'm actually going to put it on the back, because when I'm old I don't want there to be no pictures of her looking a bit sad, because this is the truth of parenting, is that sometimes she gets sad, not sad, I mean several times a day, when we won't let her do exactly what she wants. You know, I want your sponge, I'm doing the dishes, I want the sponge. So I'm sure everyone who's a parent knows what I'm talking about, but I do want to scrapbook these sort of more sad moments, and I have got pictures in my scrapbook of them being grumpy, which can be quite funny when they've got a real grump face on. But this one where she's sad, I'm actually going to stick this to the back of this photograph so that it's there but it's not there. So I'll just stick that there so that I know that I'm doing that. And then I've got these ones. This one's come out with a bit of a wider border on here than on the other side, so I'll just trim that down a little so you can't tell. There we go. And this is a picture of my little one putting her gloves on. And this one, as when it was printed out, it just completely chopped the edge off here. So what I'm going to do is, to fix that up, I'll just trim off this edge. I'll grab a piece of just white, just plain white cardstock. Trim it to 4x6. And if you haven't seen one of my videos where I've talked about this, this is the Fiskars trim, and it has the 6x4 inches on you, so you just line it up and swoosh, so it's very good for just quickly cutting out 6x4s or whatever, you know. Sometimes I'll do mini books of 5x7 or whatever. You just quickly put it in there and you're done. I'll put this on here, and then I'll just put this on here. There we go, and then it has an even border, and I'll put that one there. Now, I'm very into symmetry. Symmetry is my thing. So I tend to, not always, but if I'm going to have one collage picture where there are multiple pictures in, I tend to do two, and I'll have one on each side, like left and right hand pages of the Project Life. So looking at, I'm putting these pictures in now. So this is a beautiful one of Lizzie. I'll put that there. Then on the other side I can put this here, and sometimes I like to have matching pictures, you know, or they could be there sort of symmetrically in, but we'll see how it turns out. There's this picture which I know I want to be a square, but I haven't chopped it down yet. I'll put that there. This picture matches this picture. This is when my friend came around and he was letting my daughter play with his iPad, with his little DJ app on the iPad, which she loved. And then this is a lovely picture of Lizzie. Now, there's I'll look at this and I'm gonna go for colours, and I think there's a lot of grey in this because there's a grey outfit, grey outfit, grey outfit. This picture is quite grey, and I do like to have like a dark medium grey as a sort of one of my colours often. It's a really nice anchoring colour, and I think to go along with the grey, there's a little bit of red in these pictures, but there's not a lot, so I can basically go with whatever picture I choose. And I think I'm going to pick this sort of light, not light green, but this sort of mid green. And I think I might go some teal because I haven't used teal and white. It's my favourite colour. And then I think I'm going to add some yellow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my collection and I'm going to grab my scrap basket and take out teal, green, yellow and grey scraps. And then I'll go through my 6x4 and 3x4 boxes and pick out any Project Life cards that I have that would match the colour scheme. And then I'll be right back. I've been to my scrap basket and through my Project Life card collection, and I've gathered some grey 3x4 cards, and any card which has multiple colours from the colour scheme. So this has grey and yellow. I'll obviously grab it and see if I can use it. Some yellows, some greens and some teals, and here are some 6x4 cards from the colour scheme. I didn't have any appropriate yellows, and then I grabbed just a few scraps. My scrap basket really needs sorting out because it's just over full, and I've ended up putting like a whole bunch of stuff in there, like 6x6 paper pads and things like that don't really belong in there. My scrap basket does end up as just a repository for anything that I don't know where to put it, or when I'm tidying up quickly I'll just shove anything in there. So I got this yellow 6x6, some sort of darker teal, a bit of grey, and then some scraps. And I also grabbed some alphabets. This a nice teal alphabet. This basic grey, which I own in other colours and is really, really good for Project Life because it's just the right size for putting stuff on 3x4s. And then this was a these thicker sets. There are what's the word for it? They're alterable, I suppose is the word for it. And if you look on here, I'm missing all the E's and all the W's on this set. I've got one W left on this set, and I've been using the F's as E's because if you look on this one you can just see it's really great for, you can colour them to any colours. So I use them quite a lot on my Project Life, and it doesn't look like I'm using the same alphabet over and over again because every time it looks different because of how you colour them. So I'll put this all to the side. Now when I was getting my when I was getting all this stuff out, I was already thinking about what I wanted to do with it. So I already know from when I was getting this stuff out what I want to do. So I want to put this card here, and then on top of that I want to have this, and I'm going to put life probably in this lettering, this life, and then on a yellow I want to put some journaling. So I got a couple of bits I thought would use for journaling. This one or this one, and I think this is too, I'm going to discard this one instantly because this is too bright yellow for the rest of the yellow I imagine I'm going to have in the page. This one, because I'm going to do journaling about the bath time here, or this one. I think I prefer this yellow. This is just a little bit not what I'm looking for. So I'm going to do that page. The other thing I decided was I want to have this here, and although this is perfect for the colour scheme, it's teal, I'm going to cut out the hello there and stick it on the back of here, and it really accentuates this picture, which is a picture of my husband being photobombed by our baby, and she was being held by my friend who, because I was taking a picture of my husband, and our friend grabbed the baby and shoved it into frame to photobomb, because it's really cute. So I know that I'm going to do this. I also decided when I was looking through my things that I have this nice card, and I already knew that I wanted to cut this into a square. So I'm going to use this card, cut the picture down, and then I'm going to put Dreamboat, because I think my husband's dreamy. And I decided that I want, this week I'm going to have the week title card on a 3x4, so I'll be using this stickers, lettering on this to say week 3. And I thought maybe could bring out the green bit, and there isn't a lot of green here, so I might just go with grey and teal and yellow, because I don't have a lot of green in here yet. I love you to the moon and back. I just think I love this card, but I don't think it matches the colour scheme, so I won't use that one. What I'm going to do now then is I'll put this stuff to the side, and I will just grab my glue gun, and I will push this away, and then I can start working on those cards that I've already decided what I want to do with. So we'll start with this one. This one's going to be nice and easy. I want the center to be in the center, so I'll cut 1 inch off of both sides. Oh dear, this isn't quite okay. I'll just quickly trim it down and then cut 1 inch off this. Or of course I can just go from 4 from here. There we go. There we go. And now I've got 2 strips that I can use on the rest of the layout if I need. So I'll put them to the side, keep them around for now. I will grab my corner rounder, because I do tend to round the corners on cards. This is a Crop-A-Dile corner rounder. It's got a 1/4 inch rounder and a 1/2 inch rounder, and I've just put a tiny bit of washi tape on the 1/4 inch one to show that that is the side that I'm using. Otherwise I crop it down with a like 1/2 inch rounder, and it's a much bigger rounded edge than I'm looking for. And then we'll just quickly cut out the hello there. So this is the kind of thing that I will do fairly often, which is take elements from 3x6 cards and just alter them to more suit my needs. And I think often that will be to add in extra colours from the colour scheme, because I like to have a few cards that represent multiple colours from whatever colour scheme I'm going for. So just very quickly cut this out. And this is an ideal sentiment, the hello there, to go next to the picture where my baby's photobombing the picture of my husband, because that's very thematic to what's happening in the picture. There we go. Hello there. Now, looking at this, I wonder if I can or would like to put a grey mat, just a very small grey mat around the edge. Yes, I think I would like to do that. So I will cut a 1/4 inch and a 1/4 inch using my trimmer. So I just line this up with 1/4 inch on this side, quickly whiz it through, and that means I have to re-round this corner and also these corners. And now I want a 6x4 from this piece of paper. Swap it out. Scratch the side. Around the corners. Put this on here. So it's just got a small mat and this in the middle, and I really like how that looks. It's gonna match all the colours on the page. So then I just stick all this down. quickly stick this on, and then you can call this card finished. Just sort of line it up. There we go. Hello there. So I'll put that one onto the board. Next one I want to do, so this one I want to turn into a square, and there's just a little bit of edge on this card, so I'll just very quickly string this through. This is where this was cut from a 12 by 12 sheet of paper which had 12 different 3 by 4 cards on it, which is one of the nice ways to get Project Life cards, because it's quite economical. You just buy one sheet of 12 and 12. You get quite a lot. And now I want to turn this into a square, and so I'll go for a 3 by 3. Just trim that off, and now I have a square. So it's going to be like that. Now I'm going to round the edges on this. And I have a feeling, looking at this, that I'm going to want to, just offset it slightly, I think, because that's how I think I like best. I'm going to write boat here, dream boat, in this lettering. Yep, that'll be about right size. And then I think that this is one of the elements that I'm going to use my sewing machine on. So when I get to the end of making up all my cards, I'll take a few cards to the sewing machine and just add a bit more, because I feel like this picture is, if you look at it, it looks like it's falling out of the frame a bit, and so what I find is if I then do a quick stitching on my sewing machine around the edge, it keeps the picture in the frame, which I prefer the look of, and I like doing sewing machine stitching. So then I'll have and I'll do it in yellow to bring in the last colour, and it'll just be a small amount. So what I will do is I will do the stitching and then add the sewing over the top, otherwise the letter that's going to end up here is going to be stitched over. And because I know I'm stitching it, I just put a little bit of glue right in the centre. I don't know if you can see there. So just a tiny bit of glue right in the centre, so that when I go around I don't get glue on my sewing machine. I use my sewing machine more for scrapbooking than I do for anything else. Right, so let's pop this aside. Now I know that I want this to be the week title page, so I'm going to grab these letters. Pop some of this stuff to the side a bit more. Now I'm going to grab my gelatos. I got this set for my Christmas from my husband, and it really is very lovely. Now the colours of this week are teal, so I'll grab this one, and yellow, so I'll grab this one. Right, and now I grab, I think this set doesn't have any W's left, but it does have some F's left, so I'll just pop this onto just a scrap of acetate. So this is just a scrap of acetate that I keep for doing this stuff down. So there's an F and another F. Now I turn these into E's by grabbing some L's, and I just grab my detail scissors from wherever I put them, cut the bottom off. Now this is something that you can do for multiple letters and all sorts of things. If you run out, you just see if you can make the missing letter from the others that you have in your collection. So if I now stick the bottom of this L onto the bottom of this F, you've got an E. And once I've added the colouring to it as well, it really is not easy to tell that it wasn't originally an E once it's all stuck down. There we go. There we are. Grab the letter K, and there are no W's in this sheet, but I do have a second pack that has a W left in it. So here's a W and the number 3 because it's week 3. There we go. Week 3. Now I got this water brush in with the set of gelatos that my husband bought me. You can just buy them separately, and it's really good for working with them. Just sort of, you press push to get a bit of water into the front of the brush. There we go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a two-tone thing, which I think looks really nice. So I'm going to do the top of the lettering in yellow and the bottom in the teal, and then I can just use this brush to blend the colours together where they meet. Just going to paint the top of these letters in the yellow. What was I going to say? I was just going to say that this is much easier than doing it with an ordinary brush, I find. But I've only had this brush for since Christmas, and I have actually got some other gelatos that I bought beforehand, which is how I knew that they were so good. There we go. Just tidy up the edges and everything. And now to remove the yellow colour, I'll just paint onto my hand a bit, and I'll remove a lot of the yellow colour. Then I grab my teal, just up the paintbrush edge, then on the bottom. Oh, I think I might need to press push on the brush to get some more water in. There we go. There we go. I don't know if that's coming out in the video. It's quite... Now, if I think it's not quite solid or opaque enough colour, then the easiest thing for me to do is just once I've finished just giving this a first go through, I will run the top of the gelato just over the bottom end like this. I think then it comes out really strong. And then all you have to do to blend it is just brush upward. There we go. Just brush upward, and when blending it's best to pick a direction and either brush up or brush down, but don't sort of brush up and down, otherwise I think sometimes it can get a bit messy. There we go. There we go, week 3, and I'm just gonna set this aside to dry, and then when I'm done I can just stick these on to the card there, and I'll put the week here and then 3 underneath to take so that it all fits on. So we'll put that to the side for now, let it all dry. Just get the colour off my brush by just brushing it onto my hand for a bit. So So I know that this is going to be the card where my week is going, but I want to put month February and year 2015 in here. And I haven't got any grey on this card yet. Unfortunately, this one doesn't have any numbers on it. This is just lettering. This is basic grey, and I really do like these. They're a really nice one. So because I don't have numbers, if I had numbers, I'd go February 2015 and this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my ink and I'm going to stamp this on. So I'll just grab my stamps and my inks and then I can stamp it up. First thing to note is that leaving this for a second, as I have, it is too green and the rest of the page is teal, all the colours in it. So I'm just going to grab a blue and go over the green with the blue to try and make it more teal. I'm just going to actually dab this on, see if that works, because it just looks too straight up green to me. There you go. I think adding the blue is helping it look more teal. There you go. That looks much better to me in terms of it looking teal rather than green. Now the line between the yellow and the green looks a bit severe, so I'll just try and brush down this time just to make it. So this now more looks like, rather than half yellow and half teal, it is a bit more, bit of yellow at the top, but I like that. I like how it looks. It looks quite mottled, or you know, nice sort of ombre effect. This case a little bit. There we go. Actually, maybe just, and I do just sort of ad hoc decide what I think would look best. There we go. There we go. And I think that looks nice, and it'll look nice on the page. If it doesn't, I can just grab a different alphabet if it doesn't work out. I think it is best to try things, but I think that definitely looks better than before I added the blue, because then it was just too green for me. So I will dab this with a piece of kitchen roll and leave it to dry. Just a minute. I've got out my, these are lawn fawns. These are called Smitty's ABCs, and I do genuinely have a bit of a thing for lawn fawn, particularly their die cuts and their little mini alphabets. So let's grab, and I'm not using a capital F because there's not a lot of room on the on this page to get the whole of the word February in. So I'm just going to use the lowercase one. I think that might look cuter as well. Oh no, there's 2 R's in February. It's always that thing when you misspell a word, isn't it, when you're stamping. And you are writing sort of backwards, so it does happen sometimes. Another R and Y. February. There we go. And I'll ink this up with my Distress ink. That's good for stamping this thing. Month February. It's that nice. And then we grab the numbers, because this set does come with numbers. And to get the rest of the ink off this before I put them back, I'll just stamp it a few more times. It's just sort of a lazy way of cleaning up your things. But it works fine with this ink. Oh no, that's an R. Go, stick these back so they don't get lost. Then I grab the 2015. Oh no, it's not February, is it? That's this month. Okay, this should be January because I'm scrapbooking in January. Well, these are the sort of mistakes that happen all the time. I think this is my last card of this, but I will grab my box and check, and then you can see how I store my 3x4 cards. So, this is the wrong box. These are my 3x4 cards. I keep them in a really useful box. That's the brand. It's got like a lock lid, and it's the 2.1 litre one. If you're interested. And so then I've got them arranged by colour. So here's red, green, and here's the teal. So I'll grab these and see if I've got another one of these. There we go. I do happen to have another one. That is the last one though. So when I'm doing a layout, I'll go to my box. I'll just grab the teal and I'll just nip through it and see if there's anything that grabs my fancy. Then I can just put it back. I have 3 of these boxes for 3x4s and 1 box for 6x4s, and I operate a 1 in, 1 out policy. So when I run out of room in any of these boxes because there are too many cards in, then I have to go through and cull it because I can't afford to have more than 4 of these boxes because of how much room I have. I do try and I do buy more supplies, but I try and keep it within a certain range. So sometimes I will, give a lot of stuff to charity, or I give it to some other scrapbooking friends. So I'm just putting the 2015 on here, this new card, and I'll probably just pop this one that's got February on it right into the box. I'm probably using February because teal is one of my favourite colours. Just put a photograph on there and then it won't look too similar to this one. So the year is 2015 and the month is January. So I will stamp up the month as January and then I'll be right back. So this is the week card finished. I've stamped January on here and 2015 here, put the week 3 on and stamped the dates underneath with my little roller stamp. So that one is finished and I really like how it looks. The teal matches well with the background and the yellow just brings it out. So I finished this card. This card needs a bit of stitching, just a tiny bit of journaling on there. There's this card. Now what I'm going to do is I want to put just a sort of half mat on each of these, and I want to put a sticker on this one, I think, and then I need to put I want to put a transparency sticker on that one, a sort of half matte on these ones. I'll show you what I mean. And then this one needs to be matted and picked up, and then this one I also need to work on. So I'll grab these ones and then push this away for just now. So first things first, I want to grab my trimmer and I want to take off 1/4 inch. No, sorry, 1/8 of an inch, which I can just easily do using my little trimmer. So I've taken off 1/8 of an inch on this, and I'll grab 1/8 of an inch off this, and I'm taking it off the bottom because I don't want to, she's already cropped it quite there, and this side. And now I'm going to grab 2 of the different colours on the page, which can be this one, so I'll grab this one. There we go. And then this wants to be 3. So there's, I've got a 3x4 for this one. And let's grab I really want a yellow actually, and I don't have any yellow scraps with me, so I'm just gonna grab this is the nearest thing to hand, and I know it's got yellow in it. It is Dear Lizzie Neapolitan, which is quite old now. I'll grab this one, and I think it should be fine. So there's quite a bright yellow there, but because it's just going to be a small amount that's on show, a really small amount, I think it should be fine. So just cut, grab a 4x3 out of this one, and then on this picture I want to put it in the corner like this, and so then there's a mat just on this edge. Now this card is going on the farthest left hand side, and so it leads the eye into the page a bit more, and it just adds a tiny bit of interest to the card, which I'm otherwise going to leave pretty plain. Actually, this is going to be the only, you know, embellishment that's on this. So I'll just stick this down right in the corner. Call that one done. Now when we see the whole finished week, it'll be easier to see. Now this one is on the other side, and I'm going to do it so that it is the opposing way. So the border's on the left and on the bottom. Now this is just a nice bit of bright yellow, and it's going to be on the right hand side of the page, just to make it pop a bit more. Now, the next thing I wanted to do was to grab my stickers, which I've just got to hand. And these are I think one of my very favourite supplies at the moment. They're really good. I'm tempted to buy a whole other set. I love this picture of Naomi. She's looking out the window, and so I just want to put in the stickers. So I'm just looking at these different stickers. So if I just pull this one out actually to make it easier. I don't think You're Awesome is what I want. Maybe Happiness is this. Yeah, there we go. So stick this down in the corner. Oops. There we go. Happiness is this. It's such a lovely picture of it, and often with these, some of the pictures that I think are most pretty, I just want not too much embellishment. I don't want to add lots of things to it. I just want to leave it as it is, like to be enjoyed as a photograph. So that's what I wanted to do with that one. This one's next, and this is another card that I'm going to do stitching on, because I don't like to have stitching on one card. I'd rather have it on 2 or 3 just to make it more consistent. And actually, thinking about it, what I'll do is I'll put some stitching on these 2 cards, on the matching the outside line of it, just to add a little bit more detail to these cards and really bring in the thing. So I'll stitch on these 2 cards as well, I've just decided. Right, so this card I want to round the corners on. Now this comes from a Becky Higgins Project Life kit, and I never had any intention of using this to do journaling on. It's such a small amount of journaling on a big card, but I am very happy to use this mild, light wood grain pattern as a background to doing other things. So there's going to be journaling on here. So I'm just going to stick these down because that's how I want them. And I'm going to journal on here, and the journaling is about the card next door, which is the bath time collage, which is, at this age of my children's life, quite a big part of our life. You know, there you go. Sit this down. Trim off the excess around the edges. And once again, once I've sewn around the edges of this card, it will make these cards not so much seem like they're coming off the card. It'll anchor them onto the card. And I want to add life, and I decided to add it in this font. So I will add it here. Oops. This, and I'll offset it a bit. So I'll start maybe here. There we go. This life. There we go. And now I'll do journaling on here, and I will sew around the outside of that. So call that one done aside from journaling and stitching. And then this one, I'm gonna grab my corner rounder. Now this picture is quite dark, and that's after it's been processed. I just grabbed the camera because of the expression on Lizzie's face. She looks so happy, and my little girl is just a really happy little thing. She's always got these big smiles on her face. So I'm looking for the right, oh no, I've already decided that this one is too yellow for this week. So I'm going to go through the scraps I have and grab the 3x4 cards, just tucked over here, and try and find the one I think most. That one's quite nice because it's got a little heart in the corner. Like this one, don't like that one as much. This one, I'm tempted to have a tiny little mat of grey around, and then the yellow on the outside. Just like a very tiny mat of grey, and then the heart in the corner. If I'm going to do that, I think the grey should be darker. This is a lovely matte print. I love matte prints, but I don't think it's right for this. Right, I think if I grab the dark grey, I almost think the dark grey loses it a bit. How about white? If we just grab this. I won't use this piece, but just to try it out on the whites. And then you see that gets lost a bit, the white to the yellow. But I could ink the edges of it, and then it might stand out more. Or I could go white on grey. Yeah, I think that might look best actually, just the white on the grey. The white to lift the picture out, and then the grey. And there's a lot of grey in this picture, so it's quite nicely. So I will grab some white card, not pattern card that's white on the back, and mat this up. I think I've got some black card here. So I'll grab my strimmer. So when I'm matting things, I just pop a bit of glue on. Give myself the mat just eyed up, and then just, some of the letters got stuck on there. Just do it by eye. I used to be very weighed and measured and rulers and very exacting, but more casual about this now. Cut corners, and then this is this enough for 4? No, it isn't quite enough for a 4, so I'll make it a 3. 3 inches by 4 inches. That might be enough. Oh, that's 2 exactly, so that was 8. Okay, great. So that's another 3x4 card. I like that piece of paper. It's nice. And stick this down. Now, I think I'm going to stick it down like this, and then put an embellishment in here. Or stick it down central and then put an embellishment. I think a nice yellow flower would look good in that corner. So I will grab, there we go, my box of flowers and other embellishments. grab it from wherever it is, if I can remember where I put it. Here we go. It's just an A5 plastic box, and in here I keep various embellishments. Here's all the gold doilies. It's just a piece of card that doesn't belong in there. I've got in this box, I've got flowers, doilies, and frames. And I'm pretty sure that in here I have some yellow flowers. If I just quickly look through. I might have used up all my yellow flowers. I have a great many pink flowers. I think this looks... It looks lovely, but it doesn't really match in with the rest of the colour scheme. So I think, unfortunately, I must have used up all the flowers. I've got flowers like this but in yellow, but don't appear to have. Oh, there we go. Found it. Here's what I was looking for, this yellow flower. Pop all this stuff back. I just want a little bit. It'll be quite tricky to make sure it doesn't obscure it. Now I'm going to lift this up and put it back like that, and then I can have more flower in without obscuring too much of the picture. There we go. That I'm happy with how that looks. It's got the yellow in, actually got a bit of teal in. Now I'm not happy with these leaves, so I'm going to cut these leaves away because I think they obscure too much of the picture. So what I do is I just cut around the rest of the thing. Now everything else in this picture has a grey border around it, just a thin grey line, and this part of it won't, and I really don't think that matters. You really won't be able to tell when you're looking at it. There we go. See, that's better because these leaves are really getting in the way a bit. So now to stick this down, I am going to grab my two-way glue. This has got a nice chisel tip, and so it's gonna need gluing like, what I'll do is I'll draw a pencil line around where the glue is needed, so that I don't have to glue all of it. And I'll keep the offcut for other bits on this page or other pages. So just glue this all down and stick this on here. Just check this is how I want it. Yep, that's great. There we are. See, that looks really nice. And then chop off the excess. Like this. You can't see me, but I've got my tongue sticking out. I'm concentrating on that bit. There we go. That looks lovely. I think I might like to have a little word here, so I'll grab my box. I've got many boxes of supplies here. Label stickers, and these have got little labels on here. So there we go, this one, You Are So Loved. It's teal, it's got a little bit of that pink. There we go. Let's stick that in the corner. There we go, that looks lovely. It matches the colours on here, and it is a perfect sentiment for my happy little girl. So I'll call this one finished. I'll just pop this box away. This was this is quite a useful box. It was when I was subscribed to the Project Life monthly kit from Studio Calico, but in the end I decided not to go with kits at all. because it was too variable what they gave me. Like sometimes it'd be like, oh, I never would have picked this and I love it, and sometimes it'd be like, well, I never would have picked this and I hate it. So let's bring back the board and see where we are now. I want to stick this photo in the back. Now I'm just deciding if I want any embellishment on this photo. If I cut it in, yeah, I think I want to do something with this photo. Haven't decided what. And I want to add a little bit of embellishment to there. This one I want to add in the word photobomb. Now where are my basic grey lettering? I'm going to add the word photobomb in this corner with a little exclamation point. So I'll add the word photobomb to that with the lettering. And I'm happy with this one how it is. I'm happy with that one. I want to add some journaling in on here. So I'll remove that. And I want to add some journaling in on these. Remove them. But then I think that's me done once I've done that. So, first things first, I will stick down this collage to a white background because it didn't quite print out right, so I'm just sticking it onto a 4x6 white piece of card. There we go. Some journaling on this one and word photobomb. So first things first, I'll do this off camera because it's a bit boring just watching me stick stickers down. But what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to grab my Sizzix here. I'm going to use my nested circles. If I grab my die, and I've got the Lawn Fawn ones. They come, loads of brands have them. So they're just nested circles. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this size circle and this size circle above that. There we go. And I'm going to cut these out into like complementary colours from the week, and it wants to be something that I can journal on. So this one's sort of a white and grey pattern, that looks good. And then maybe if I've got something, I might even do it in the offcut of this. Yep, I think those will work quite well together for what I want. So, grab my Sizzix machine. I'll run these through and then I'll show you how it looks when it's done. Here we go. So I went to my machine and I cut out the grey ones, but when I looked at them, just the grey on the grey wasn't that exciting, so then I cut out some yellow ones. So now I've got some greys and yellows to choose from. Whilst I was at my machine, I also cut out 5 little teal stars and a couple of bits of scallop edging. Whilst I was looking at my things, I thought that this might be quite nice on this card. So this is what I've got lined up to do. So I'm going to stick one circle on top of the other. So I'm going to stick down this circle to this circle. There we go. And when I put this circle on top of this one, just to try it out, it looks like a boiled, like a fried egg. Don't know if that comes out very clearly, but the yellow on the white looks like a fried egg. So I'm putting it on this darker grey for this one. There we go. Just stick that down. And now what I'm going to do is cut these. So I grab my scissors. going to cut these like this. Not quite half, more than half, I'd say. Not quite 2/3, but a nice chunk. And then I'm going to glue on this one where I'm going to place my little journaling circles. I'm going to place this on here. And then glue this little circle. I think I might be running out of glue on in this glue pen. So stick that down there. And I'm going to add a little star up the top. On there. And then I think also one on the other side, maybe. On there. There we go. And then I'm going to repeat that on this card. But with this one, it will be going here. Now, I'll just snip that off a bit. There we go. Stick this down. There we go. Stick this on here, and I want to trim it so that it doesn't go over the white border line. There we go. Then stick down these circles here. There we go. And then add a couple of stars on here. And one here. Oh, whoops. That one decided to come with me there. Stick it down here. There we go, and that is those done. Now I'll just need to add the journaling on these two. So I'll put them away to the side, be put onto the board. Then there's this one. So I'm going to cut off this. Like that. Would be 1.5 inches if I do that there. I think I'll cut it off. There we go. 4 inches. Oh, a little less than 4 inches then. There we go. There we go. I'm going to cut that bit off. Now what I do with this is I just grab a 4x6 piece of card. Here's a 4x6 piece of card, and then I'll just stick this down here and glue on this edge, and then make sure that the footprint of this 4x6 card and this sort of like 4-inch photo is 6 inches wide. There we go. Now this overlaps the edge quite a bit, so I will quickly trim that off. There we go. This looks a little bit like it's not quite right, so I'll just. There we go, that looks a bit better. There we go. And now I'm going to stick this bit of trim, this last bit of trim here. This bit. And this is, I'm pleased with this embellishment because it, oh no, wait, wrong way around. I want it to be coming from the top down, don't I? I'm pleased that I'm using this 3x6 card because it's got the grey and the yellow in the one card. So coming from the top down actually, because we're putting the embellishment at the bottom. Just tuck, if I can, just tuck this in behind the photo. There you go. Then we'll snip this like that and just go like that, I think. And then tuck this in here. There we go. And I think then we'll curve all of the edges, so I'll just glue this up, put a nice little glue on it, tuck it in like this, snip it off. Then I'm going to curve, if I can see where I have put my corner chomper, I will chomp the corners on this one. As I said at the beginning of the video, I want to put this picture of her with a sad face on the back. So I will just, oh, oops, my corner chomper is just spilling corners there. We'll put this on here. On there. And because actually the back of this is nice and yellow, it actually matches quite nicely with what's going on the front of the page. I'll just put that there as Naomi's little sad face. There we go. I think this might also be good to have stitched around the edges actually. I think that'll look really nice and finish off. Although I am mindful of if there's anything too close to the edge, like here where Lizzie's face is, if the stitching is going to go right over her face, I won't. So I think I'll just leave that one because the stitching would go quite a lot into her picture, and so I'll just, let's bring back the board. I'll tidy up all this. Pull back the board. And go like this. This is how it's looking now. Oh, put that aside again for a moment. Here's this photograph of my Naomi playing with the DJ apps. So I've just got a little tag on here. I'll glue it down to the size. Little tag, and then I grabbed these stickers, which I think I might have bought in a French supermarket of all places many moons ago. And I think if I just grab this nice big yellow and black musical note and stick it there, just a nice little embellishment. There we go. And I think I'll stick just a little star in that corner, and then I can do the journaling on there. So just pop these stickers aside. So just glue up this little star, stick it down this card. There we go. And then aside from journaling, that one is done. Just with some of the adhesive things, the self-adhesive things, I'm really firmly stick them down because the self-adhesive sometimes isn't that great. So right, so now all that's left is a card in here and to do journaling and stitching, and I'll be doing stitching on this card, and this card and this card. So 4 cards to do stitching, and I need to find something to put in here, and I'll have to have a bit of a think about what that's going to be. But right now I'm going to take all this, I'm going to do the journaling and the stitching, and then I'll think about what to put in here, and then I will be back. So here are the finished cards once I've stitched them. They're stitching around this edge, around this edge. I did stitching, if it registers, along this edge, just to accentuate that this sort of where the embellishment is, and around these two edges. And now, just to finish off this card, I grab this journaling. I'll start going backwards from here to sometimes it can be a bit of a fiddle to use these teeny tiny stickers, but they do look, they are just the right scale for Project Life. And Debbie. There we go. Dreamboat. That's come out on the camera. Dreamboat. Right, so let's grab this all back. Put these down because we are just about done. Right, so this one goes here, and so this border along the edge pulls us in this way. This one goes here, same for this side, it's sort of directing you into the page. There's my there. This one to go with this, and this in here. Now I'm going to use some more of my stickles, my little Lagoon stickles. It's still the only bottle I own. I think the next order I place, I'll grab a couple more colours that I use often, so probably a yellow and a red, maybe a purple. So places where I think it would look good are, just put some on this card, and it's just dotting around, whoops, dotting around, and then once I've done it I just tap the back, tap it settle bits. Definitely want some on this card. Just to, there, and I tend to do 3, and I'll do some next to the stars on these ones. Here I'm not going to do 3 on these cards, but just one little dot next to. And I think that's it. Just a couple on here, a couple on here. And I'll just quickly tap the back of these to help it settle a bit. So yeah, I just put it underneath, and it just settles it out a bit and helps it spread a bit more. There we go. I went through my collection of 3x4 cards, and this is the card I found, which I think matches really nicely. And the arrows pointing to this are just my little one eating a tangerine and having a bit of a sit on her daddy. So lovely everyday things in the pictures that are on either side of that the arrows are pointing to. And I am going to call this done. That's it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. You can check out my website, welshbunnies.com, or look me up on Facebook, Twitter, or you could check out some of my earlier videos. Thanks.